Hi there. Today I've got an empty room to work with, so I thought I'd show you some of the ways that I like to use the wall. Oh, how many ways do I like to use the wall? I could make 100,000 videos, but we'll just keep it short and sweet today. So some of what I'm doing is assuming that you're either already warmed up or that your baseline for mobility is somewhat high. So it's up to you if you feel like you need to do more work. Otherwise, getting into a nice cat-cow would be the best way to warm up here. So if you're inhaling down the body to the pit of the belly, exhaling, lifting the pit of the belly up instead of squeezing the belly in. Think more about up. And then of course, because I don't do most anything in a linear way, you can take the hips back. Now you may or may not notice that I have my feet, just the balls of my feet against the wall. So you're welcome to participate in that as well. And then of course we can switch directions here. And you'll also notice that I have my hands wider than what is typically asked for in your garden variety yoga, particular vinyasa class. So I'll come off of that and show you why. I have a little bit of an angle here. So with this angle, it's called a carrying angle. You're welcome to look it up. Now take my palms flat and take out. And that's about where my hands generally should be in weight support, weight bearing, hand support. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna lie on my side. The first thing I'll do is face you. So I'm on my left side. You're welcome to come along for that ride. And I have both feet in the wall. Now if support with the elbow or forearm does not work for you, you can always come down and be a little bit more luxurious. Otherwise, we're going to take this forearm. The elbow is outside of the shoulder. It's not directly underneath. That helps me plug my arm bone in a little bit better into the shoulder socket. And from here, if you can't get both feet in the wall for any reason, that's fine. Also, I got a bony hip and I'm feeling a little bit of hardness right now. So I'm going to grab something and turn down the music. So you're welcome to roll up a blanket. Let's see. And sometimes it's not really the hip that's actually going into the ground, it's your greater trochanter, to be specific. So if both feet don't touch, it's fine. Just try your best to get at least the bottom foot into the floor. And then from here, you can take your right hand, fingertips to the shoulder, create a little wing, and just make some circles here. And as you make the circles and your elbow goes back, could you use a little lifting and hugging of the low belly, perhaps on an exhale where it's a little bit more accessible, as you go back, so you're not arcing in the low spine a lot, you're actually creating some core stability, and then inhale through this portion. It's a little backwards of what a traditional yoga would tell you. The default is pretty much always to inhale when you're expanding and opening the sternum and chest, but in this case, I think there's validity to breath in all types of movement. In this case, I'm using my exhale for some inherent stability, and I'm also doing a little bit of work on my own. And I'm going to keep this position here, really press down into the whole of my arm, not just the elbow. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come to the floor, prop myself back up, and I'm building a bit of heat so the shirt will go away. Perhaps you too are shedding layers of clothing, or perhaps not. All right, so turn to the other side. So again, the elbow is out. I almost sounded Canadian there for a second. And then both feet in the wall. I'm just going to press in, get my stability. I'm going to make sure that I'm not just defaulting on the back body to hold me up. I'm going to try to use now a little bit more engagement. I'm going to take the two front hip points, they're in front of these points here, and I'm going to sort of draw them together muscularly. I'm sort of pretending to do that. And then I'm going to make the wing, and I'm inhaling as the wing comes forward. And then as I exhale, I'm doing a little hugging and lifting near the pelvic floor and higher. And I'm going to create a little stability so I don't keel over in the back. And so I'm not just using my really archy low spine. If you don't have an archy low spine, you'll fall back. Good, and I'm going to hold the last one, try to press through the whole of the arm and not let my arm bone come up towards my earlobe. And I'll come down from there. Okie dokie. Let's do a round two. I'm not going to throw this dramatically because I might need it. So, you're going to support yourself on your left hand and your right foot against the wall. So if you can't get the outer edge of your foot against the wall, it could just mean that your ankle doesn't move that way. Doesn't necessarily mean something's wrong with you. So you could always put part of your foot into the actual wall, like a few inches above. Okay, there's a few different ways for you to negotiate this. So here we're in a version of side plank. Notice that my hand is a few inches in front of my shoulder. It creates some more stability. I'm also going to roll the inner elbow forward a bit. And because I tend to hyperextend and lock the heck out of my elbows and knees, I'm going to take the elbow back. And this could serve you to be able to have a certain level of bend in your elbow anyways. You just access more muscles instead of hanging out in your shoulders, wrists, or elbows. So from here, let's take the wing. And this time, I'm going to go a little bit more traditional, as they say. And inhale as the wing reaches over my head, and then exhale as I roll forward. And I'm trying not to do a back bend here. I'm trying to do a side bend on the inhale. Your whole head could tip. If you have really long hair, you could be feeling it on your hand. And after doing this a couple of times, you may find that you need to take a break. And if you do, go ahead. And then when you come back, you can extend the arm. You can certainly roll the pinky edge of the finger down, but there's really nothing stopping you from taking your hand down and reaching it by your side. So if the extension of the arm feels too much, it's tugging too much in one spot on your arm or ribs or waist, take it down for a moment. And then from here, you could take those two front hip points and try to muscularly draw them in and lift the leg. In this case, the right leg. You can put it in the wall and see if you can plug your hand into the floor. And you're going to rotate the arm a little bit, almost like your hand is opening a jar of pickles. Some people can flip that left foot and lift their left knee. There are some people that don't have to flip the foot, and you could lift a little bit of everything, right? Be careful of that one. All right, we'll go to the other side after we do just a neutral position here on a Hatasana or puppy pose. So you're looking right now, if you're looking at me, you're looking at a hypermobile body. So in order to not hang out in my joints where there's like this dip in the shoulder, I'm going to take the elbows a little further in, press my hands together, and then allow the elbows to make an indent in the mat so I'm not just going into the fullest expression of the joint space and hanging out. So pressing the hands in will help you. If you do not have the uber crazy shoulders, then I would recommend having your fingers wide, and as you're going to the biggest stretch you can do, have a little lift in the belly, kind of like you're doing a kind of a cat pose. All right, let's take the other side. So from here, the support is on the right leg. left foot. Outer edge of left foot could be in to where the wall and the floor meet, or it could be just into the wall. Make your wing. Remember, we're going for a lateral stretch here. So as you inhale, take the lateral stretch, meaning side bending. So the right side body gets smaller. And then as you exhale, roll it forward. And you can look up or look down. And then allow your right elbow to have a little bend to it throughout. Just make it a bigger bend as you try to arc over. And the next time you inhale, you could pause. You can keep going. Try the extension of the arm. And if the extension of the arm feels too pinchy or really sharp in one area, just take the arm down. Give yourself a break. Take a few breaths in the position of your choice. Allow the right elbow to have some movement. Engage the muscles around the shoulder blades, if that helps. And then, of course, you have the option. You could lift the left leg as you draw the low belly in to protect the low spine. You could take the foot into the ball. You could curl the toe under and lift. Remember, use your belly to do this. The exhale will assist. You could also, if you wanted to, it's interesting how on each side I'm a little bit different and I cannot lift the foot without collapsing there. Interesting. Okay. So from there, your wrists might need a little bit of a break, so feel free to get on the tops of your hands and then roll into a fist. We can also do a little bit of this too. Ah. You can make some muscles. Not that it really does anything, and then you can just do some weird movements. Try to get the shoulders and everything. And we'll stretch out the shoulders a bit here, so you can take a little forklift arm. You could also take eagle, but I find that the forklift position is a little bit more accessible for the average forearm and arm length in general. And then you can come across here, other side, come to the biggest range of motion you can, and then get right back out of it. Just doing a few of these. And then take your hand forward and slide across the floor. Hi. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short little video. Feel free to add it to a routine that you have, or use it as a little sequence that you can build up the strength to having your foot in the wall and lifting the leg without falling down. Now be careful with that one, because that one you can slide right off the wall and bang your knee. We want to be pretty careful there. Okay, thanks for watching. See you later.